All right, welcome to Talks and Tonics, Straight Talk with Jason, modern guy just navigating life, health, business, and love in Canada. Today, I have some amazing gentlemen joining me. We're just going to do a round of introductions in a moment here. Just wanted to go over the kind of the rules of the podcast. There are no rules, right? It's called Straight Talk because I want everybody to be authentic and genuine in this, right? And we can drink, we can curse, we can swear, we can cry. It's straight talk, boys, right? And speaking of crying, this is one of the things that we want to hit on to today's talk is men's mental health, and so men's mental health. It's in Canada and in the U.S. and I think in the U.K. as well. It's Men's Mental Health Month, and it's also Men's Health Week from the 10th to the 16th. So it's very, very, very. We're very lucky to have Kevin and Jesus joining us. They are working on a project called Check Engine, and we'll get a little bit more into that. But first, I want to meet these guys. Want you guys to talk a little bit about yourselves. Jesus, please, tell us a little bit about yourselves.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
I was hoping you go with Kevin first.
Well, hey, Kevin can go on too. Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, my name is Jesus Ortiz. Born and raised in Mexico. I've been in Calgary for 10 years now.
Okay.
I've been in the film industry for about 3 years now. Okay. Everything started shortly at The Last of Us, actually. I had a background gig. Then I discovered my true love for what I wanted to do, be a poor filmmaker.
Yeah.
So everything was snowballed from there. Now I have one production company on my own, Google Cam Productions Canada, that we do. This is the production company that's taking Check Engine on, and then Kevin and I are partners with also Chad Rook on Sinica Films, and yeah,
amazing.
It's been a journny.
Well, welcome.
Thank you.
Looking forward to hearing a little bit more about Check Engine and why have you guys taken on this project. It's a very, very important cause that you guys are doing.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
I'm going to pass it on to Kevin. Kevin, please tell us a little bit about yourself.
I'm Kevin Moriarty. I've lived in Calgary my whole life. I got started about 4 years ago on Last of Us as well, from actually our friend Gary, who got me started. It was a random phone call. He was doing a fitting during the COVID protocols. He wasn't allowed to take his kid in to the fitting room, so he called and asked if I could just watch Ben while he did his fitting.
Yeah.
Did his fitting for about 45 minutes, so I've sat in the parking lot with Ben just throwing a ball around, and then he came walking out with the casting director, and she kind of looked me up and down and handed me a business card and said, you need to give me a call. And she got me on set. It was supposed to be a much bigger thing, but ended up just being a background. But I made the trailer, and I'm visible in the episode 3 different times. So being the background was a much better option, but that lit the passion, and here we are.
Yeah. Who did you meet that day, Allison?
Allison, yeah.
No way.
Yeah. Yeah, it was fun.
That's awesome.
So the film bug.
Yeah,
gotcha.
It hit. I mean, I wanted to do it in junior high, and I moved out to Vancouver right after high school to try out my hand in it, and failed miserably. Was told I was talentless and couldn't hack it, and just beaten down severely. And I moved home, head between my legs, going, I'm not doing that shit ever again.
Absolutely.
And after a 40 or 20-year hiatus, it came back with a vengeance, and nice. We're doing a lot in this industry now. So
with a vengeance, like there's a production company.
Yep.
You're doing, you wrote this short film.
Yep.
Check Engine.
Yep. Full actor member now.
Actor member.
Yeah, we were working on 2 feature films. Like,
beautiful.
We got a lot in the works. So
exciting.
We got full play right now.
Nice. So you mentioned Gary, and for the listeners here, Gary is a very mutual and very good friend of all 3 of us, and we'll be mentioning Gary a few times in this because I do realize that Check Engine, part of it is based on some of the experiences that we've had with Gary over the last couple of years, and so for those that are listening, can you give us a little bit of a synopsis of what the Check Engine, what's Check Engine, what's the story, like the quick story behind it?
Well, like you said, part of the story was based on our experiences with Gary, mainly from Kevin.
Okay.
from how close he was with Gary. So the story develops on there's a group of friends that like to ride motorcycles.
Yeah.
Sadly, one of them passes away,
Okay.
and that person, his name is Ben. After his passing, Ben's best friend Joey,
Okay.
he enters into a huge depression due to Ben's passing.
Okay.
So everything develops into he doesn't know how to talk about his feelings. He doesn't know how to even tell his other best friends, "Hey, I'm going through this," because everybody, of course, is in a grief due to the friend's passing.
Yes.
But obviously, Joey took it the hardest, and he feels completely responsible of his death.
Yeah.
He feels like it's his fault completely. I don't know if I should reveal the details
no,
on why, but he feels
So
responsible.
Ben's the one that passed away.
Ben's the
It
one.
was
that
a
passed away.
motorcycle accident.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And Joey is the best friend.
And Joey's the best friend. Okay.
So he feels completely responsible for it, and the story develops around that.
Okay.
He has, again, a lot of depressions and suicidal thoughts. He thinks he doesn't deserve to live anymore because he basically killed his brother.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So again, the story develops into how he doesn't know how to reach for help
Yes.
or to talk about how he feels, and also the friends doesn't know how to. The friends don't know how to help him either, right?
Yeah.
Because they're obviously hurt about Ben's death as well, but not as much as Joey is.
Okay.
So there's a lot of suicidal thoughts, a lot of grief, a lot of depression.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's kind of how the story develops.
Okay. And you don't have to give all the story, right? So this is
Yeah.
a short film.
It is
So
a short film.
What defines a short film? Like was it like the length of time?
It has to be under 45 minutes, I believe, to
45
be
minutes?
called
Okay.
a short film.
All right.
There's now between short films are short shorts and short mediums.
Okay.
We're entering the capacity of the short medium because we're about 18 minutes roughly
Okay.
on the final screenplay. So
Okay.
yeah,
Okay.
we're in the
Longer side of it.
Longer
Yeah.
side.
Other side of it. Okay. So this is now a short medium.
Yeah.
And when you talk about short film, short medium, is that something that is specific to, I don't know, like I'm very ignorant and, not as.
Yeah, so
in
on some film festivals, you cannot submit a short if you're after 10 minutes.
Okay.
A lot of the shorts for the majority of the festivals are under 10 minutes.
Okay.
So it's a little harder to get into different type of film festivals.
Okay. Yeah.
It's really a preference.
Yeah.
I think this story is a really good story and it deserves to be watched and heard. And
It needs to be.
it needs to
It
be.
needs to be.
Definitely.
So even if we go after 20, 30 minutes, still okay because
Well, you can't
It's the message.
talk about something as big as men's mental health.
no, exactly.
Mental health is this big huge thing.
Yeah.
The big huge pie. There's the mental health on the addiction side. There's the mental health on the ADHD side. If you're talking about kids and
Yeah.
learning and all these different things. So with men's mental health, as a healthcare practitioner, as a nurse that's worked in that area as well, I do know that there's specific stats to men, right? That in men's mental health. So I know the top three things when we talk about men's mental health is depression, it's anxiety, and substance abuse. Those are the top three things, but they're all still related, right?
Yeah.
So with Check Engine, I think in the synopsis that you guys have been doing, you guys are trying to raise funds for this as well,
Yes.
right? So I read a little bit about that, and in raising funds for it, I guess the other part to this is you guys have a budget, and the budget is $23,000. $23,000, that doesn't go a long way for a 75-minute film, right? And now you're now short medium because you're now saying you're just a little bit over the 75 minutes.
20.
No,
we're
20.
about 20. We're about 20 minutes roughly.
About 20
20 minutes. Okay.
So anything under 45 minutes will be considered that short medium.
Okay.
If you go over 45, then you're into
A
a
feature.
feature.
Okay, pardon me. So it's 45 minutes.
45. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
But even at a 20-minute short, 23,000 really doesn't go very far, right? We're doing what's called an actor independent production, or AIP,
okay.
and for that, our budgets for actors and crew are very small. Like it's $125 a day.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So a lot of that is going to permits, locations, just feeding our guys. Like there's a lot of extra dollars that have to get paid out before even you're paying your cast and your actors.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. But for something like this, the story that needs to be told, it's a small price to pay.
For sure. But I really think that 23,000, like, when I asked, what the budget was, 23,000, you got to double that. Right. And I hope like, that our listeners will listen to this and, through the social media that you guys have been doing with this and your GoFundMe page, you guys have raised already $5,000. I think you guys have only done this, like, I think you've been raising money for only a few weeks. Is that correct? Or like
we have raised $1,100 so far.
$1,100.
Yeah.
Okay. I think I just invested $3,500.
Well, thank you. We appreciate that.
Please go for it. No,
and I'm going to look for people to match that.
Yeah, there we
right?
go.
Right. So that's you have a message. Your main message is the grief.
Yes.
Managing grief. Men managing grief.
Yeah.
Men, and the like grief also is a very big topic. Right.
But the stigma behind it, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, society has bred guys to be the tough guy. You can't cry.
Yeah.
Rub some dirt on it. You'll be fine.
Exactly.
And I am a victim of that. Growing up, it was, don't you cry, don't do that. You know what I mean? Stick, fight it.
Yeah.
And that unfortunately has been a big factor in my life. Like I don't share emotion very well. I would bottle things up and then, eventually just have that Krakatoa explosion moment. And it was never a good thing,
Exactly. Yeah.
So, when we did lose Gary, last year, it was a lot to deal with. And
Absolutely. Yeah.
I really did struggle just trying to get that emotion out.
Yeah.
So.
And do you think by writing the screenplay, it's been therapeutic for you?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Putting those words on that page, like it still hits me every time I read it and we do revisions.
Yeah.
Like it definitely has been very, very therapeutic, but it's also like
it's not
really hard.
Absolutely.
Really hard.
And did you seek therapy too? Like
I did not.
Yeah.
I tried to deal with it my way.
Yeah.
I did shut down quite a bit, cut out a lot of people in the life, and kind of regressed into a little dark hole. And it took a long time for me just to kind of sort shit out, just to realize, what, I need to get back out and do things with other people. I lost one person that was very important in my life, but I'm losing more because I'm not being out there with them.
You just shut down.
Yeah.
And that's what we as men have been trained to do.
Yeah.
We've been trained to bottle it up, and we're fixers, right?
Yeah.
As ever since we were born, it's suck it up, buttercup.
Yeah.
You fix it, you deal with it, right? So us as guys growing up, we bottle in and we don't express it.
Yeah.
And then we haven't learned how to express it either. So, when you're a teen and you're frustrated and you start beating people up or not beating people up or just like yelling and like we're punished for that.
Yeah.
Right? Like and I'm speaking, of this personally as well. Like I as a healthcare professional knew the mental health side of it. So with the grief and the loss in my story and depression and anxiety, when that came in, I knew how to express it, but I was expressing it to the wrong people.
Yeah.
Right. And the vulnerability side is something that us as guys, we don't know how to handle it. Like, we're all asked by people to be vulnerable, you have to be vulnerable, blah blah blah. And I was being vulnerable to a person that I thought that it was a safe place. And what turned out was, that person didn't that person saw my vulnerability and they saw my weakness,
Yeah.
right? And they turned that weakness and said, and it basically and said, hey, you know what? I don't want to be with this weak man,
Yeah.
right? So it's and in relationships and in growing up and expressing those kinds of things, being angry, just being able to express anger in a in a mode where you're angry, you yell. Well, when guys yell, guess what? We scare, you know,
Yes, we do.
we scare
We
people,
should.
right? I scared my kids when I started yelling. And when I started yelling, I became the bad man. And
Yeah.
I became the bad person. And you know what? How tall are you there, Kevin?
6'3",
6'3", right? How much do you weigh?
260 right now.
260. And, for you to yell your anger, right, around somebody that is, not of your stature, not of your size, you freak the shit out of us.
Yeah.
Right. And you know what? If you freak the shit out of us, then, that's taken in the wrong way. Right. We rode bikes together and,
Yeah.
we rode motorcycles together. Yeah, it was great to ride, motorcycles and stuff. It, made us feel like guys, but still, the whole thing with motorcycles, it's like, we like to ride the loud bikes because instead of us yelling, right, we drive really fast and we make those bikes yell. We
100%.
make it roar, yell.
Yeah.
It is the best outlet for us as men that ride bikes, right?
Yeah.
And that ride really loud bikes. But then there's other outlets that we can do this, like in physical activity. There's a positive way of shifting that anger to making it positive,
Mhm.
right? But I think and I'm just gonna say it, Gary, like rest in peace, man. Like with this story is this story revolves around your experience with it, Jesus's experience with it, my experience with it. So you know what? Thank you for writing the screenplay, getting it on paper, because you've done your therapy,
Yeah.
some form of therapy,
Yeah.
right? And and that's what works for you, right? What like, and I know you popped some stats about men's mental health a couple of days ago on your social media. What what are the biggest stressors for men? Like
I mean, some of the biggest stressors for guys
Yeah.
is, finances.
Yep.
That's a huge thing.
Mhm.
Divorce is another one, right?
Yeah.
That falls in line with some of the financial stuff.
Yeah.
And in relationships,
Yeah.
if something goes sideways, guys are made to look like the bad guy.
Yep.
90% of the time, let's be honest. And sometimes there's a lot of blowback from that.
Absolutely.
Whether that be the circle of friends that you reside in, the social media lashes.
Yeah.
I mean, there's lots of stuff that people do just to make themselves feel better by cutting other ones down, and guys are targeted a lot for that kind of stuff.
Absolutely.
And it's absolutely awful.
Yeah. And we're not even talking the legal side of this,
No.
right? Like the legal side of divorce. I'm gonna say it. You know what? As men, we get the short end of the stick.
Oh yeah, bent
right?
over the coals, man.
We get burned over the coals because we react in a different way, and that story can get turned really quickly.
Yeah.
On us, right? So, Jesus,
Yes, sir.
man, I know a lot about Kevin's story. Like what your you talk about grief. Like where
Yeah.
it was when you're writing this screenplay. What's your experience been with grief?
Well, on my side, it's been coming from my dad. My dad passed away 4 years ago.
Okay.
And it was a very hard time for me and my sister. So I always wanted to do something in this, because this is what I do for a living. So I wanted to do I wanted to write a story in honor to my dad.
Okay.
But then when I approached the idea to Kevin, was like, when we do this kind of like a combined story between Gary and my dad, how we felt about our grief. But everything goes back into my dad was also he never spoke about it. Like I know he had big stages of depression.
Okay.
He was a very heavy alcoholic.
Okay.
And he, at some point at the end of his life, he refused to give up alcohol because my mom divorced him. He was in a very difficult place financially. So now, like Kevin talked about the financial factor, I can vouch for that because financials are the number one thing, right?
Yes.
Especially when you have to provide for your family and you have that, when you're divorced, you have to make sure your wife is okay, make sure your kids are okay.
Yeah.
So, like I said, my dad never spoke about his feelings, but I could see it. I could see that he needed help, and there's even some guilt from my part and that's where the story comes on Check Engine, because I didn't know how to ask my dad, how can I help you?
Yes.
I didn't know how to say, Dad, I know you're okay, you're not okay. Just talk about it.
Yeah.
Neither I knew how to ask, neither he knew how to approach that. Right. Yeah. And this is in Mexico, right? There's not as many resources as available as in Canada to seek a therapist, to do so many things. And I really wish he opened up about it, because probably he might still be here.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, he died from a heart attack, but the heart attack was led from his alcoholism.
Yes. Yeah.
So, also what Kevin said, drugs, abuse and substances, not necessarily drugs or alcohol.
Yes.
It's another factor that I saw in my dad that was his escape. Yeah. There was so many shit around his life and around his head that the only thing that could make him feel better was alcohol.
Yes.
And I wish it would have been different, right? So all those feelings, now I comprehend how my dad, or I think I understand how my dad was feeling, but I will never know because he's not here, right?
Yes. Yeah.
And again, after his passing, I thought about it so much. I felt depressed. I felt guilty. I felt, if I could have talked to my dad, it might have been a different story.
Yeah.
So we put all those thoughts into the script.
For sure.
Yeah. And also personal experiences. I mean, I immigrated to Canada alone 10 years ago when I was 19 years old. Like, nobody here, I got homesick. I didn't speak English. I had no job, no money.
Yeah.
So on that early stage of my life, I started experiencing depression, and it took a bigger hit when my dad passed and other experiences in my life. And it's just.
And then when you were you said you came here at 19, and you're experiencing depression. Do you think now that you've reflected on your dad's experience and with his depression and his substance abuse, how has that changed your behavior when you're going through your depression?
Well, I do go to therapy quite often.
Okay. Yeah. Great. So, wonderful.
It's something that has helped me just to not necessarily understand what I'm going through, but just to talk about it and let it go.
Yeah.
That's a help. It has helped me also the fact that, to tell you the truth, a few years ago, I didn't have many friends in Canada.
Yeah.
I didn't feel like I belong here. Yeah. The language was a difficulty. But now that I have closest friends, like I have talked to Kevin many times about, things that I think you should talk about with anybody, like your friends, right?
Yeah.
So that has helped understanding my thoughts and.
Yeah. And is your sister in Canada too?
No, my sister's in Mexico.
In Mexico.
Yeah.
All right. So it's just you.
Yeah, just me here.
Oh, wow. Nice.
Call me crazy.
Every day.
But
well, yeah, Kevin, at 6'3", and he's just a big cuddly teddy bear
Yeah,
at the
that's
end of
what
the
they tell
day,
me.
right? Yeah, he is. He
A
is.
big cuddly bear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's that?
Oh yeah.
They don't
Oh,
see
yeah.
that at the bar, though.
What's that?
They don't see that at the bar.
They don't see it at the bar. No, absolutely, absolutely not. No, and I'm going to mention this. Like, Kevin's helped me too, like through my times, right? And it's good to have somebody to talk to,
100%.
right? And um, and I didn't even realize what he was doing when he was offering me, all the things that he could help me with, right? And I was just like, yeah, you know what? Because I was grasping at straws, man. I was like grasping at straws, and I was like, hey, dude, thank you.
I'm
Yeah.
better at helping than I am asking for it.
Well, we're not trained to ask for help.
No.
No,
Right?
no.
And us, that are going through it, you're like, but like when you're down in the dumps, and you see a 6'3" guy, and like he gives you a call, right? Just say, hey, you know what? How you doing? And we kind of did that over the last year, right? Like and
Yeah.
and then him and I had I had a chance to tell my story to him, and he listened. Right? So, dude, thank you,
Absolutely.
thank you.
It's important. It's very important. It's a blessing to have people
Exactly.
that can listen to you without judgment.
Yeah.
So a lot of people, even though you think you might have many friends, and a lot of them might judge you.
Oh, you
And I
lose
find
all
that a
your
lot of
friends. You
time.
lose a lot of
Yeah.
friends, right? And because when again, you don't know who to be vulnerable to,
100%.
right? And sometimes that person that you're being vulnerable to, you end up telling your story to everybody, and and when you're you're just like saying, hey, you know what? I don't want to burden everybody with my story, but you know what? If I throw it on the wall, it's gonna stick somewhere, right?
I heard an interesting quote the other day, actually.
Yeah.
Kind of centered around the idea of true friends. True friends are like stars. You only see them at its darkest.
That's actually pretty cool.
Right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's pretty accurate, right? Like,
Yeah.
you can know everybody in the city,
Yes.
but when you need something or you're going through something, who actually answers the phone?
Yeah.
Oh, I can't help today. I'm busy. I'm doing this, or I'm sorry, man. I got this going on. I can't be there.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's unfortunately it's true.
Well,
And then when Gary, like my fondest memory of Gary was when actually I had checked myself in the hospital, right? And it was a really interesting experience trying to check yourself in the hospital, because I realized, you know what, I do need to check myself in. As much as I know about my mental health and how I can be safe, I'm not feeling safe right now, right? And Gary was one of the ones that I was able to call, and he took me to the hospitals. So, Gary, thanks again. Didn't realize it was going to be this emotional for this one, guys, but
It's a
it's
a tough topic.
It is
I mean,
a tough topic.
It lets out a lot.
It does, right? And I've got all the, I'm fully medicated with all the antidepressants and anxiety, but tears will still flow.
Yep.
Right? They'll still happen. And I've done, I did and I was with my therapist on Friday, and also did a mushroom psilocybin treatment, and all the feelings, you got to feel the feels, right? You got to work through it. You can't bottle it in. So you know what? I do apologize for crying, but at the same time, I'm not
Don't
apologizing
apologize.
for it.
No, not at all.
You know what? These are all those feelings that I've bottled up and haven't been able to say and express, right? And you know what? Thanks for allowing me that space and opportunity to talk about that. Let's get back to Check Engine.
But
What?
let me tell you a little story, because I
Yeah,
actually
go ahead. Yeah.
I actually met Kevin through Gary.
Okay. Yeah.
And now that you say that, Gary was the only person that answered your help call.
Yes. Yeah.
I mean, it didn't happen like that as dramatic, but
Yeah.
when I was just starting with my company and being a filmmaker, I was doing a little commercial for a restaurant called Strip Joint.
Okay.
They're some friends of mine. And I put this huge casting call. Please come and eat for free if you're in my show. If you're in my commercial.
Yes.
Nobody showed up but Gary and this guy.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They had a lot of food.
We ate a lot of chicken.
But
A lot of different, a lot of takes.
yeah, but you know
guys do
what?
that on purpose.
We took some home too.
Yeah,
guys-
That's good.
Wow, yeah.
It's like I mean, I remember seeing the messages back and forth. Like there was probably a good 50 people that were like, "Yeah, we'll be there. We'll be there.
Yeah,
We'll be there."
nobody
Yeah.
showed up except
And
Gary.
yeah, it was just me and Gary.
Really?
And I remember telling Gary, like, dude, thank you so much for coming, man. Like, I wasn't, to tell you the truth, he was the last person I would expect to see.
Yeah.
And then his answer was like, of course. Like,
Yeah.
dude, anything you need.
Yeah.
I saw your call. I'm here
Yeah.
to support you.
Yeah.
You don't hear that shit anywhere.
No.
Fucking
No.
anywhere.
Yeah.
And it's so fucking sad that he's not here right now because I can thank him for so much just to be with this guy.
Exactly. Yep.
I mean, without Gary, this
The whole film community.
the
wouldn't
whole
be
film community will not be happening because we have a nice community,
Yeah.
with acting classes,
Yeah.
with when we shot Manias, what we're doing right now with
Yeah.
Check Engine and other projects that we've been doing.
Yeah.
Seriously, all that happened because of Gary.
Really, Gary.
He is.
Well, he
was
organ-
the
he-
networking.
He was
master.
the networking
He
man.
organized that
Everything.
event too. Yeah,
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
And if fucking sucks that he's not here to see it.
Absolutely.
Fucking sucks.
But that's statistically, and I'm gonna quote stats, man. Like you know what? 3 in 4 that are going through divorce don't make it.
Yeah.
They don't make it, right? And I'm gonna do the stat again. Like there's 3 of us. There's actually one. Actually, now that you're here, like I was thinking about this earlier, but he's the one out of the 4 of us that have gone through mental health challenges is not with us.
Yeah.
Right. And that is a very, very common stat in men's mental health, and it is a very, very defined fact in every piece of literature that you see there about men's mental health. So I'm hoping that this project that you guys are doing, and it also is to lift go past the stigma.
Yep.
For not just for guys that are going through mental health challenges, but also for us that can recognize if someone's in trouble.
Yep.
Yeah.
Right. So we also know that in the literature that the signs that that your friend, your colleague, somebody might be going through those mental health challenges is exactly what you talked about earlier. You withdrew yourself, right? You weren't hanging out with the friends that and stuff. You disappeared, and that is very common for us guys. We just hide in this little hole and say, hey, you know what? I'm going to fucking deal with this myself. And that is the wrong approach. Wrong approach. You got to be able to ask for help. You got to be able to recognize, hey, you know what? If I'm in that dark space, you know what? Sometimes those stars won't come out. You have to look for those stars yourself.
Yep.
Right.
But like 90% of the people, men, don't know that.
No.
They
Exactly.
don't. Right?
Right.
They don't know, again, because it's like you say, it's that stigma that fuck, I'm going through this thing. If I call my friend or somebody else, they might call me, oh, fucking pussy. You can do it yourself. You're a man. You're strong.
Yeah.
Okay, fine. But fuck, dude, I don't. Not because I look strong, not because I look like a big guy. Talking about this guy.
You're
that
a big,
means
strong, independent man.
that means that I.
So manly man.
Yeah. That doesn't mean that I'm okay mentally. That doesn't mean that I can actually wake up out of bed
Absolutely.
and go on my day to day because the thoughts haunt me.
Yeah.
Right. So we really have to break that fucking thought of if you're a man, you can deal with yourself. No. You might. And you know what? If you do it, great for you. But most of us, we can't.
Yeah.
We have to be able to say, dude, I need help. And on the other side, we need to be able to say, okay, you need help? No problem. I'll be there for you.
Yeah.
Whatever you need.
Yeah.
That's exactly what we need.
Yeah. And you have to build that tribe around you.
Yeah.
Right. And that's the thing. Like when you're at your you need people the most, a lot of people disappear from your life,
Oh yeah.
right?
Yeah,
A lot of
that's
people
true.
are, maybe, and it's not to, point fingers at people. Maybe that person's going through their own shit too,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
And you know what? They just can't handle, more shit, right? So, but yeah, you lose family, you lose friends because they just aren't in your shoes.
Yeah.
But you just got to keep, you just got to keep going out there and saying, hey, you know what? I just got to tell my story. I just got to keep telling my story. And when you tell your story, you end up finding out that you're not the only one fighting that same battle,
Yep.
fighting that battle.
Yeah.
And I've been criticized, being on social media, popping all these things that, because on my Facebook, and it's like, what, I they're like, don't air your laundry on there, right? Well, I'm not airing my laundry on there. I'm just telling people genuinely, what, if you're on Facebook and it's like, what is it? How are you feeling today? I'm gonna pop it on there. People don't want to see that.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't want to see that. But the funny thing is, I've actually been messaged by a lot of, a lot of friends that have reached out and said, you know what, thank you for putting that on there, because I learned that when I was putting that out there, and when I was, in MySpace, like I was reading other people's stories, and I'm like, you know what, I'm not the only one.
Yeah.
I'm not the only one that has to deal with this. And you kind of build that little community, build that little tribe. Like I have, I have a few guys right now that, what, thank you for putting those quotes on there. Thank you for, putting those positive quotes, because if it wasn't for that, they look forward to the positive quotes on there.
Yeah.
Right. It social media has a, has a really bad connotation with it, that, if you keep posting this stuff, you keep posting, like, you know what, it's a selfish thing. No, it's not selfish. That's my way to, help myself, but it's also,
It's an
to say, hey, you know what, everybody's in the same boat.
Yeah.
We're all in the same journey, and you know what, your journey might look a little bit different, but we're all there, and we're all,
Yeah.
I mean, the
suffering.
real world isn't all rainbows and kittens. You know what I
No.
mean? So
No.
why should social media be that way?
Exactly.
It's an outlet for everybody to do and say what they want to say.
Yeah. Yeah.
Whether some of it is absolute left wing bullshit,
Exactly. Yeah.
or
Yeah.
whatever. I mean, it's your outlet. If it helps you deal with something, cope with something, meet people in that situation that are going to help you or that you can help,
Yeah.
absolutely use it.
Yeah. And it's and I'm going to reverse it a little bit, because they say that, people are using social media to get likes and all those things. It's like a narcissistic value.
Yeah.
Well, it isn't. What those likes do for me personally is it triggers my dopamine.
Mhm.
Right? The dopamine, like every time I see a like, and because I now know that I'm helping somebody out there, right? And you see a like, and you're like, oh shoot, like one like, great, someone read it.
Yeah.
And when somebody liked it, it meant that it meant something to them as well.
Yeah.
So it's like a little piece of dopamine every day. So I've learned to like pop all those positive quotes on there, positive quotes, and all these things. And if there's a like there, I'm like, great, you know what? There's my positive dopamine for the
You
day.
made somebody
right?
smile.
Exactly.
That's it.
Right.
Yeah.
And when we talk about substance abuse, this is why we go into substances, or most men go to substances, is because we're looking for that dopamine.
Yeah.
Right. We're looking for that dopamine fix, and
We're looking for that
all those
escape.
things. Exactly. Right.
That numbness.
That numbness. Right. And heck, you know what? Lots of times you just want to be numb.
Yeah.
Right.
100%.
So that you can get through your fucking day. Right. Because we still have responsibilities. We still, and we have this internal battle, but we still got to get through our day, because you know what? If we don't get up and we don't get out of bed, well, you know what? Then the financial stuff happens, and all this stuff happens, and all these other things happen, and it's a breakdown everything else. So every day it's like, you know what? If that's what I've learned, and that's how I've learned to deal with my mental health struggles. And we were talking about it, being Mental Health Month, and I think you said something earlier. It's like, you know what? It's it's not just a month that it should be recognized.
Absolutely.
Right. This is every single day, every single month, someone's going through this challenge.
Yeah. It's a daily struggle. It's not okay, it's June, I can have mental health problems.
Exactly.
All right.
Yeah.
June 30th, we're done.
We're done.
We're back to good now, right?
Yeah.
I can turn it off.
Yeah.
But That's not how that works.
Yeah, but there's only 52 weeks in a year. There's only 12 months. There's only 365 days. We can only, allot some things for this. You can allot things for, your LGBTQ, your Pride, and your the Black History Month, and all these different things. Like, it's like there's only so many weeks that we can do this. But
Right.
the biggest, bigger part of that story is, everybody is experiencing this every day, no matter what it is, no matter what the issue is, and this remember this, like February being Heart Month. If you have cardiac disease, you have cardiac disease 365 days a year.
Yeah.
Right. So
Most likely the rest of your life. So
exactly right. So
how many more months do you have?
Yeah. But that's and that I think more of that is let's use February to raise money for funds for
Yes.
the specific that specific disease.
Yeah.
Right. So this is and choose February. Now it's June. Let's raise more awareness for men's mental health. Let's have the discussions. Let's lift the stigma up, and let's raise some money for you guys' fucking movie. Right.
It worked kind of funny because we didn't actually plan it for the pre-production to be happening in June and July.
Yeah.
Kind of just happened.
It just happened. Yeah.
Yeah.
Kevin
It literally
and I
just fell in
went.
our laps.
Yeah, Kevin and I went for wings, and I said,
Yeah.
you know what? I have this story. Let's make it together. And
Yeah.
that day, we put the story what we wanted.
Yeah.
Next couple of days, you have Kevin call me almost in tears, like, dude, I have a fucking
Yeah,
story.
it was. I mean,
Like,
it was hard to put onto paper, man.
Very
Absolutely. Yeah.
It was. I mean, I think it was 48 hours, and we had a full story
Yeah.
written out. Like,
Did you
it
guys
just-
really?
Oh yeah, I hit that computer and that keyboard, and it just was like out of me.
Yeah, and then I added my stuff. It was like he did most of the story.
Yeah.
And then I added the stuff that I felt personally because of the stuff that I wanted to put into the story, and then I think what we come out with was it's so powerful though.
Yeah.
It's so we really believe that this film will knock on so many doors and so many people to say, dude, it's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay to reach out. It's okay to feel this way, but don't stay like that.
Yeah.
We can help you, or well, maybe we can't, but there's resources for you to help, for you to get help. There's talk to your buddies, talk to a therapist, talk to just somebody else. Like there's the road. There's no an end into the road. There's you reach out. I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. And so for Check Engine, do you guys have like a social media handle? Do you guys have a website? Like what's
We do have a
how do
social
we follow?
media
How do we
page.
follow along with that? Yeah.
So it's check_engine_film.
Film.
yeah.
Okay. And that's social media. Instagram.
That's Instagram. Yeah.
Instagram. Cool.
Yeah.
And then
And,
that's how they can find your.
Yeah, the GoFundMe information's on there.
Okay.
It links, I guess, to you and I, and we just continually share all that. We're sharing the cast information, the crew information, so who's involved.
Yeah.
We are reaching out for sponsorships. Looking for like mental health associations to be involved. And then once we get the production done, we're going to do a series of screenings
Okay.
across the country to try and raise more awareness.
Yeah.
Try and raise some money for these associations as well.
Okay.
So it's going to be an ongoing process for us, but it's
Yeah, absolutely.
I think it's going to mean a lot once
Yeah.
once people see it, and once they get the message and realize, what, it's okay to see a 6'3", 260-pound dude cry.
Absolutely.
I'm gonna make him cry because I'm directing. I'll make him cry.
He's going to sit there with a cattle prod.
Cry now. Cry.
Cry.
Yeah. Do you guys see this? This short medium. Do you see it turning into an even bigger project?
We hope so.
It
Yeah.
definitely has that potential.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
Honestly, we had a budget of $100,000.
Yeah.
Shit, fuck. Let's do a full feature, right? Let's do
Yeah.
a full movie.
Yeah.
Because why not? Like I was telling earlier, we're targeting on this film just one little piece of the whole pie
Yes.
on men's mental struggles.
Yeah.
Like I said, the film focuses into suicidal and depression and grief, but like we talked earlier, it doesn't end there.
No.
Right? There's, like you said, substances abuse.
Yeah.
There's financial struggles. There's the divorces. There's so many things into why men's mental health is so important that we're just touching one little bit into it.
Yeah.
So after the film is done, this doesn't end here, right? Like Kevin said, we're doing a series of screenings to raise funds for those mental associations, and the battle keeps going on and on and on. It's a never-ending story, and we want that way because it's today somebody might be struggling with it, but then in a month another one of your buddies might lose somebody, and they might go through the same shit, and we have
And are you guys going to, like, I don't know how to submit for, like, the different film festivals, and are you guys gonna be submitting for that?
We'll
Like,
definitely
how's
do
that?
the circuit that we're going to be able to target.
Okay.
Like Jesus had said, some of them you can't submit anything longer than a 10-minute short.
Yeah.
So we'll target the ones that we're able to, and then if we don't get as much reach with that as we wanted to, then we'll do our own thing. We'll do screenings here, private screenings. We know a lot of venues that could host us and do that thing and do it on our own. But we hope that there's a lot of groups out there that want to participate and do this with us, so we're not by ourselves. That's kind of the whole point of the film.
Absolutely.
You're not alone.
And when do you guys start filming?
We're aiming for August.
August?
Yeah.
Okay.
first weekend of August.
So there's still an opportunity for amateurs like me to be a part of it.
To what, sir?
Is there still a role for there's still it's an ACTRA, it's an ACTRA. You guys are only looking for ACTRA people or
No, so
unionized people?
Initially we wanted just ACTRA because we wanted to get into
we were looking at a grant.
We were looking at a grant from
Okay,
ACTRA.
all right, okay, yeah.
But there's some flaws that we really didn't agree with on their the fine print with ACTRA. So Kevin and I talked and we decided to raise our own funds.
Okay.
Because with what ACTRA is giving us is not enough anyways.
Yeah.
So let's make this bigger. Let's raise our own funds and just go to the next level. We have to think bigger than we are right now. We have to think of this gonna reach a global, possibly, message into, mental health associations.
Yeah.
So we decided to let's just do our own thing. We have to do it with ACTRA anyways because if we want high caliber actors, ACTRA provides it. Besides, also Kevin cannot act without in a non-ACTRA project.
I need constant direction.
Yeah.
No skills at all.
No, we're saying Kevin being a full ACTRA member, I cannot pull him into an independent project without being ACTRA.
Okay. All right.
So those are the rules, right? And we have a good cast. We have Chad Rook, which has over 60 credits under his belt.
Yeah.
We have we cast Norella King, amazing actress. Kevin Logan, which also has a few credits under his name. Faith Luzon.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if Faith, if you're listening, I'm sorry. But I think that's how you say your last name.
And we also have D'Angelo Mayweather, another guy that knew Gary pretty well.
Yes.
So,
oh, really? Okay.
yeah.
Nice.
So all those things allows us to have an amazing cast that will help the film reach where it needs to be.
Excellent.
Yeah. So
Excellent. It's we only have a few more moments left. Any other highlights of the project that you guys want to discuss? How can I help you guys with the project?
It's really just raising the awareness. I mean, your listeners out there, if they want to share the posts to friends and family, and I'm sure everybody knows somebody that's been struggling with the mental health. So the more people that see it, the more people that want to help, the better. We will have an extras casting call for a couple of things, and there'll be a real big call for the end. So everybody keep their eyes and ears open for that. So, but you have to be able to ride a motorcycle.
You have to be able to ride a motorcycle.
Class 6 is a mandatory.
Yeah, we don't want any
no legal issues.
No legal issues.
I'm sorry, you can't come.
Yeah.
But
you have to have the right license for it.
Yeah.
And so filming starts in August.
Yep.
Any target date as to when you guys will be finished the project and have a little bit of premiere? Like, how's that going to work?
Yeah, we haven't actually reached that stage.
Okay.
We do have an editor on the team already.
Yeah.
So it depends. You know, editing is it could take a week, but it could take a month,
Yeah.
2 months. We have a couple of sequences that are quite complicated for an editor, and I'm talking for experience because I'm an editor as well.
Yeah.
So we're hoping to be the project to be done as soon as possible.
Yeah.
And as soon as it's done, you know, if it's in the winter, why not? Let's just do a screening and start raising awareness. I mean, it's all about, this film is all about awareness. This film is all about reach out. You're not alone. You know, if you don't know how to reach out, hopefully the film helps you out to say, fuck, okay.
Yeah.
I'm not the only one, right? Because
Yeah.
we often think that. And keep going with, I don't want to say a battle because we're in a battle, but like,
It's the internal battle, right? You know, it's your struggle, but
Yeah.
you know, you're not a burden. You know, talk
Absolutely.
to your friends.
yeah.
Some of them may not want to listen, but there will be somebody that will listen
will
and
100%.
give you that support.
Definitely.
So find your diamond in the rough because they're worth their weight in gold for sure.
Well, it's awesome. I'm going to close it in 2 seconds here, but I'm going to tease you about your bike. Yeah, I'm going to tease you about your bike. Your beautiful Indian. What is it? The
Indian Pursuit.
Yeah. How are you? You know, how's that going to play a role in the movie here?
We can't fit it on the screen, so
It's huge. Yeah.
No, I have to kneel when I'm on set.
You're gonna have to use CGI if it's some kind of CGI thing, but you know, because
we don't have the
I don't
budget
think
for it.
I don't think he wants to crash that thing.
No, I definitely do.
Well, I have a Harley that I crashed last year, so you know I can donate that to the cause.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens with bikes and whatnot. But we have got a couple of things in the works.
So That's awesome. That's
Yeah.
awesome. Well, hey guys, thank you very much for joining me today. Thanks for taking the steps to put this project together. And I know Kevin and Jesus, like hearing your guys' story, you know, this movie and the screenplay is not just, you know, any screenplay. It's very, you know, very close to all of you guys, and that's a great form of therapy. Like, you know, people call it journaling. You guys have created it into a screenplay, and you know, hopefully it'll touch more than just, you know, this little room here, and you know, and create more awareness, and you know, lift that stigma up a little bit.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Thank you for having us. We appreciate it.
Thanks for having
Thanks very
us.
much, guys. All right.
Fun.
All
Thank
right.
you.